Hey, this week at work, we had the most fascinating two meetings with, unusually, two very, very similar businesses, different industries, but the same operating business model. And they're both enormous distribution businesses. But both of them emerged from a very similar heritage. And the heritage was, in each of their industries, they had created a bouquet of products, and the products were premised on the back of a brand. It had an ethos, it had a purpose, it had character, it had personality. The brands emerged from identifying real opportunities for clients that they serve, customers that they sell their products to, that have real needs, real needs. They were beautiful, beautiful origination stories in both instances. Nevertheless, the leadership of both teams was very similar too. And with the successes that they enjoyed in the local markets where they emerged from, they decided to expand and grow. And indeed they did. And in doing so, they collaborated and did deals with big distribution partners. In the one instance, across, I think it was about 92 odd countries. In the other instance, it's across 16 countries. And in order to get into these countries, these big distribution deals they did were with organizations that would sell through channels to reach the final consumer. It meant that they were far back from the final consumers in each of these markets that they'd now entered to through these new distribution agreements in these various countries. And with that, the demands from the big distributors grew. And with that, they had to feed this monster. A big distribution partner puts demands on you to ensure that you always have the right product, you always have sufficient stock, and importantly, if you're a brand owner, that you're carrying cogent, clear, impactful campaigns within their local markets. These two businesses then built themselves to serve that requirement. They both actually forgot who the final customer was. And in that, they lost their souls. Over a period of time, they changed the nature of the employees that came into their businesses. They brought on individuals with strong financial capabilities, strong abilities to engineer efficiencies, which is the want, the need, the requirement very often demanded of a big distributor. And with that, they have lost the ethos, what gave their companies meaning. They don't know who their end consumers are any longer. And in many ways, as a result, they're selling blind. And as a result, they're now finding themselves competing for commoditized products that offer similar capabilities to what were their original branded, beautiful products in the marketplace. So where is the lesson in all of this? The lesson is, yes, if you do build a beautiful product or a beautiful service, if you ensconce it in a fantastic brand that's yielding success, always remember that the only way that would have been possible is by serving directly the consumers of those products or services, by having an insight into what problem you solve, how they go about buying, how they go about understanding, how they go about appreciating the product or service that you have to offer. And whilst it is cost-effective and efficient, and whilst it makes perfect sense entering into new territories, new markets that are unfamiliar to you through distributors, always ensure that you maintain a link at the end of the day to the final consumer so that you yourself can support your distributor in that territory with the right product, the right service, the right campaign, the right ethos, the right brand, the right story. Should you not do that, and should you revert to simply becoming this engineered distribution engine, it is a fundamentally different model. And in that model, unless you're heavily locked and loaded with enormous balance sheets, it's hard to survive, it's harder to thrive. Food for thought this week at work.